Hi guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Crystal and this is Books Forever After, where I sit on my floor and we talk about everything and all things books. Okay, so today is part 2 of the book haul that I did in September. First part was all new books. This part is the writ books, and specifically all the books that are fantasy and contemporary that I did not that are not historical romance. So the third part, we will go over all of the thrift books that I purchased that were historical romances. So these ones I purchased at, let's say, at a library, like Friends of the Library book sales. Just our normal ones, and then some of my local libraries had, which I think was the historical ones, but some of them had book sales specifically, so that they only have like quarterly or things like that. So these ones, I think they have like, gosh, what's the word? A standing like bookstore kind of within the library. That's kind of cool. So really enjoy it. I usually can get some really nice quality, gently used books most of the times, and find some really hard to find books. And it's really easy on the wallet to try to build up my personal library, especially on these books that I read years ago, and I'm just trying to find them a copy of them again years later, because I would just for mementos and memories, and also to just reread them whenever I want. Alright, so the first one off the stack here is Queen of Babel Gets Hitched by Meg Cabot. I believe this was the third one. It's probably a trilogy. I read these years ago. Meg Cabot was one of my favorite books to read when I was in high school and young adult. She's really famous for the Princess Diaries, and my favorite of hers actually is the Mediator series, which I just realized there's like another book. I didn't realize. Like, see, that was what happens when you lived in a time before social media, when you had a true like Rolodex, or I actually would have to try to find the next book from the cover and what they stated in the front of the book on the series, or read more by this author. I tell you, live in the days where those days were wild. It wasn't even that long ago. I hope. Don't tell about my gray hair. It's we're a lot younger than I hope, depending on what you think is young. So neither here nor there. A really cool find, and it's an author that I'm really hoping to read soon. I think this is an independent author, which I think is like even, well, it says age, so I don't know if it's independent or not. But it's a library, an old library copy. Has that library there. It's by Grace Draven. It's Phoenix Unbound. I never heard of the series by her, but I do know like her new series, like the Radiance, and I think it's called Entreat Me, which is like a Beauty and Beast retelling kind of a thing. So I'm really looking forward to those. I really want to read those. I hear such good things. Never read anything by her. This is a fantasy romance. I believe these are like standalones, so that's also, even if they're series, or they're standalones within that. So I'm really looking forward to reading this. This is the Fallen Empire series, so really excited to find this one. It's a little worn and torn, but it's gonna be really good. Next one is a fantasy. It's by Naomi Novik. It's by Spinning Silver. Really was excited to find this one. Really practically in good condition, which is kind of cool. I've heard that this is people's favorites. I don't think I've read anything by her either, but I've heard about this author and I really want to see what it's all about. I've heard Uprooted is not people's favorite, but this one is. This one is kind of like a it's like a Rumpelstiltskin kind of retelling, but like she starts spinning silver into gold. I believe her dad is like the tax collector, but he's really bad at being the tax collector in a village. But yeah, really looking forward to reading that one sometime soon. We'll see when we have that. Really cool one too that I've heard as well, which is The Lives of Locke Lamora. I believe it has kind of like a similar to like Six of Crows, where there's like a, what's it called? not a robbery. But it is a robbery. Oh gosh, I can't think of it. Anyway, but it has like kind of like found, I believe, the found family, that kind of a thing. So I haven't read Six of Crows yet. I did read the first 3 of that in that series. I can't remember what it is, with the Netflix series on that. Yeah, I believe this is a standalone. I've heard really good things of this one as well. This was influenced by book 2 for sure. This one it's practically new. It just has some aged, like, sun damage, and like it almost looks like it wasn't read. So, other than that, so really excited to own this and know that it's on my shelf to be able to read. So yeah. Next one is, as I mentioned in my previous book haul, like I'm trying to gather all things Nora Roberts again, because I used to read her all the time as well. And what's really great about Nora Roberts is like she kind of spans historical romance, contemporary romance. She does do romantic suspense. I did read a few of hers years ago. If I'm going to read a romantic suspense, it would be probably hers, but it still wasn't my favorite kind of romance genre to read. And I believe this is a collection. I do remember reading this one, and so when I saw the library, I'm like, oh, I would read this. I think I actually reread this one like two times. There's 2 books in this one, Reflections and Dance of Dreams. This is like a contemporary romance. One is like a Dance of Dreams is a ballerina, which is kind of cool. It says, prima ballerina Ruth Banian has always been in awe of her demanding mentor, Nikolai Davidov. But when they are partnered in a sensual new ballet, they must fight hard to control the rising attraction between them. In the end, though, it is up to Ruth to teach the guarded Nikolai the tender dance of love. I don't remember if there was like a lot of spice in her contemporary books. There might have been some, but it wasn't like overpowering. So I don't think the driving force, it's kind of like similar to historical romances, where a lot of the times the open door, the spice or steam isn't, there's only maybe 1 or 2 scenes. There's not like a lot every other chapter or so at a certain point. So yeah, it has like a good balance, and the focus is on the tension and the feeling of the tension and the connection with the characters. So the first book in here is Reflections. This is also a dance one, so this is great. If you're in the mood for ballerina, this is probably a great book to read. And for some reason, I don't know why, but winter always makes me want to read like dancing. Of course, ice skating. I do have a book I want to read in December that's a novella for ice skating. So I don't know, there's something about like that kind of, that screams to me winter. That's kind of cozy that way. A lifetime of dedication to dance left Lindsay Doon little time for romance. That is, until she meets brooding architect Seth Banian, the guardian of a talented young ballerina in Lindsay's class. So it's a teacher. Oh, okay, parent-teacher woman. There you go. As Lindsay and Seth clash over their hopes for the girl's future, passions flare, and Lindsay receives a crash course in the art of love. So definitely looking forward to reading it. Yeah. We're really excited to start delving into Nora Roberts again. So yeah. And then I was able to find also Grey, which is the 50 Shades of Grey. I think I listened to audiobook of Grey like a year ago. It was definitely weird, not my favorite. This is just nostalgia's sake, and it might be better to reread it physically. But yeah, definitely have all the 50 Shades of Grey when I read that years ago when it's popular, and then the movies came out. But yeah, just nostalgia, and we'll read it just because I want to. But yeah, I will, we'll see if I like reading it physically better, because I don't think the narrator was my favorite, or he was just a little bit too, the character might have just been too into himself in his voice. So we'll see. Alright, the next one, I can tell it's like, you still have the Target sticker. but I got at a library sale as well, so all these are at libraries. This was The Royal Next Door, contemporary rom-com. I think this was released back last year in 2021. So I don't recall what this one's about, but it's like, looks like it would be probably something I would read in the spring or summer, so I'm looking forward to having that, and it's in really good condition, and I don't think I ever read anything by Karina Hall, so, or Hallie, Karina Hallie, so I think that's how she said it, so looking forward to that. And this one I have already read before, and this was such a find. I read this on Kindle Unlimited, I think last year, I think it was last winter. And I didn't realize, I'm like, yeah, it was a long ebook. But this book, I'm looking at it, is 637 pages for a contemporary dark romance. And I think it's like a mafia one too as well. This has a lot, like trigger warnings and things like that. And it's by K.A. Knight. It's a Den of Vipers. And this is just in practically good condition. The library actually thought it was like fantasy. It is not. It is not fantasy. At least it was in the right section. It is adult, that's for sure. So, so yeah, I read this. It was a very entertaining read. I think it was like a 4-star. I think I might have did a 4-star. So yeah, it was good. It's kind of like a bully romance, I believe, as well. So it's not typically my favorite, but I think it's just very entertaining in this one. So it was still good. So yeah, so now I have my own personal copy, which is very hard to believe. It seems very hard to get independent books, and usually to get independent books you have to get it through Amazon usually. So if I can, I will try to order. I want to order from the author directly, but this is really cool to find a library. So especially a book I've already read in Kindle Unlimited. So yeah. Yeah, that sucker's big. Jeez. That is a book. Super heavy. Okay. And I also picked up, and there are certain books I'm very specific that I want to get the hardcover. Like fantasy, romance, and books that I read like back in college, and from the one that I got from the library. When I checked them out from the library and such, and now it's kind of cool to, I've already read them, and now I can own them. This one was Spirit Bound by Vampire Academy by Rochelle Mead. I read this years ago. I do know there's like a TV show that is out now over this, so really loved this series. Read all of them. Do I recall everything? Probably not, but I do know the first movie was kind of disheartening that they didn't finish the movies, but I'm glad they're doing a TV series on it. I don't know when I will watch it, but I'm sure I will at some point, just because I have to, you know, just have to. But yeah, this one's pretty good. It just has some sun damage, but yeah, other than that, it's in pretty good condition, and I'll be able to rebuild and get the other ones eventually, and I want to get the hardcover with these ones. Kind of similar to the Fallen series. I have all of them except for the last one, Rapture, and I'm very specific. I want to get the hardcover, so. And I think that one I think the Vampire Academy series, I think I read like 2 times back then, so. Same for Fallen series, so. The next one I found was by PC Cass and Kristen Cass Destined. This is from the House of Night novels. There are like several of them. I think I read a majority of them. I can't remember when I read this. The same thing with Vampire Academy. It was popular back then. Another like vampire kind of situation. This is all the time, you know, when Twilight was coming out. So then it was vampire everything, you know. That kind of happens. But, which I like because it's cool to see all of them. I think I have... The only one that I have, because I haven't been able to find these, and it hasn't been really a priority to find these yet, because I will probably eventually reread them, but I think I have marked, I can't remember, because they have like other ones there. I know I have one of those on so now I have 2 of my copies there. I thought I had several more, and maybe when I moved, I lost some of them, so who knows. we moved several times in different places, so it is what it is. I also picked up, this one actually has beveled edges, which is kind of cool. This one is by Emily A. Duncan. It's Wicked Saints, Let Them Fear Her. I hear there's like controversy or something that I think this author is problematic, which really sucks. So I don't know when I'll read this, but it's something that I'm interested in reading the novel, but I don't know. We'll see. So picked it up and it looked interesting, and times as they are when you find things out too late. So we'll see about that one. And then I think I got all of these. I think I'm missing the second one. I may be wrong. I forget. But these ones sounded, I'm going to use the common term, intriguing. Let me show you these. It's by Callie Bates, and I don't know when these were released, but they look kind of cool. They kind of give me the Moana vibes with the goddess when she turns into back into the thing. But we have the Waking Land and the Soul of Power. I believe this is like fantasy. I can't remember which one was which. Let me look it up, because I thought I had the first two and it was only the third one I need to find. I was hoping, usually they have all of them. Usually you're able to find at the library all the trilogies, but I'm thinking maybe somebody grabbed it, because some people they already have it and it's like finishing their collection or whatever. So let's see here. The Waking. Yeah, so The Waking Land is the first one. The second one, that's what I'm missing, is The Memory of Fire. And The Soul of Power is the third one. So I can, if I ever wanted to start reading this one and then purchase or look for the second one. But the Waking Land, it is, I'll look it on Goodreads, but it says Lady Alana Baltai is fiercely devoted to the king, who raised her like a daughter. But when he dies under mysterious circumstances, Alana is accused of his murder and must flee for her life. Returning to the homeland of magical legends she has forsaken, Alana is forced to reckon with her despised, estranged father, branded a traitor long ago. Feeling a strange, deep connection to the natural world, she also must face the truth about the forces she has always denied or disdained as superstition powers that suddenly stir within her. But an all-too-human threat is drawing near, determined to exact vengeance. Now Alana has no choice but to lead a rebellion against the kingdom to which she once gave her allegiance. Trapped between divided loyalties, she must summon the courage to confront a destiny that could tear her apart. So it sounds like it's a young adult. I don't think there's a romance in here, but which I'd be fine. So yeah, looking forward to reading those. Alright, that is all for this second part of this book haul that I purchased in September. The next part would be all the historical romances that I purchased at the thrift bookstore for the library sales. Alright, so that is it. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Comment down below those books that intrigue you. Which ones that I showed here today that I should probably start reading, or what you think about those. So, or if you ever heard, if anyone ever heard of this book or series, so let me know. Comment down below, and that's it. So, like, subscribe, and I will see you in my next one. Thanks. Bye.